Well, if you haven't figured it out by now, it's Mother's Day. Here we are. And for many of us, this is a day that is really sweet. There are memories and an opportunity to celebrate. But for others, and for a whole variety of reasons, not so much. So it's always a bit of a challenge to consider this day and do right by the day, but more importantly, to do right by all of you. Parenting at its best is complex. Anyone who has spent time with children knows the beauty and the wonder being with children can bring, as well as the many ways in which being with children, and I'm going to put a caveat in there, children of all ages can simply drive us wild at times. Mothering. Mothering is ancient. The essence of life-giving nurturance is embedded in this beautiful earth that we call home. And it seems a silly notion to me to set aside a day to honor all mothering and to not weave this element into the mix. I think what a better way to honor all forms of mothering than to do what we can to bring Julia Ward Howe's voice into the conversation. Now, she wrote what she wrote quite a number of years ago, and so some of the language is a little bit dated. Mothering, we all have that capacity no matter what your gender is. But the essence of what she said, and what is, I think, so important to recall, are her words that call out for a general congress of all mothers to promote the alliance of different nationalities, the amicable settlement of international questions, and all the great and general interests of peace. Does that sound like a good idea to you? That we have, there have been efforts to set up a Department of Peace, and if we could all become living advocates for peace in all aspects of our lives, I think that would truly be the perfect way to honor mothering in all of its form, to lift up all of God's children and the very earth that we walk upon. Peacemaking and love are so very intertwined, for it's hard to truly contemplate peace, to become agents of peace, if we have not found ways to also live into love and to make peace with all that is our lives. And to that end, that centering ourselves in love and making space for peace within our hearts. In that spirit, I'm going to invite you to take part in a ritual. This ritual was created by Reverend Erica Hewitt. She's named this ritual the beautiful and the bitter. So what follows is her work. So this is a bit of a prelude to the actual ritual. Erica says, each of us here knows something about how love works. What do you know about how love exerts its power between people? What has love taught you about the beauty and the bitterness that can arise from its presence in our lives? In her book, All About Love, the late Bell Hooks writes, the word love is most often defined as a noun, yet all the more astute theorists of love acknowledge that we should all love better if we used love as a verb. Throughout her book, Hooks frames love as an action, a practice. She also reminds us that the practice of love offers no place of safety, no guarantees. We risk loss, hurt, pain. We risk being acted upon by forces outside of our control. You know this if you've opened your heart to anyone. There is no love without risk. People are not loving and loyal every moment of the day. That last truth is offered by David Rico, a Buddhist psychotherapist. He elaborates, just in case our lived experience hasn't made it clear. Sometimes people keep their promises, and sometimes they do not. Sometimes people love us loyally and faithfully, even unconditionally. Sometimes people hate, reject, abandon, or betray us. It might feel liberating to name those truths. Perhaps they're a reminder that when any of us feel vulnerable or unloved, or we struggle to maintain love and loyalty, it doesn't mean that we are unlovable or less than whole. It means that we are, in fact, human. Telling these truths that relationships can be hard and require work from us, it can also be empowering. It can be a gift to remember that in many of our relationships, not all of them, but in many of our relationships, we have choices about how to name boundaries and expectations, even if we only do so privately. We often have choices about where to compromise, choices about when to forgive, and choices about what to work on. The practice of loving, despite a perfect track record, means choosing when to risk our tender hearts and doing it again and again. So now I'm going to introduce you to the ritual itself. I suspect that each one of you has countless memories and stories about how the love you've experienced, about what the love from a mother figure has been like for you. You likely also have memories or stories about that love being complicated, conflicted, or even absent. The ritual that we're about to share in is an invitation. There's no pressure to participate, but it's an invitation to sit with both kinds of memories, to offer thanks for the life-giving memories, and to acknowledge the ones that have been difficult or painful. And if the latter is too hard to do alone, I will be available for pastoral care after the service. So, if this stirs something, reach out to me. Here at the front and in the back of the sanctuary, there are bowls of water. Next to each vessel is a bowl of salt and a pile of flower petals. The petals are a reminder of love's beauty and our gratitude for the mothers and mothering figures who have loved us, cared for us, and helped us to grow into the people that we are. The salt is a reminder of tears that we've shed because of loss or mistakes. Perhaps our mothers didn't always love us in the way that we needed them to. Perhaps we've struggled to forgive them for their choices, for their flaws, for their humanness. Perhaps the salt represents your own regrets as a parent, or the struggle to forgive yourself for how complicated it can be to be a parent. So in a moment, there'll be some background music, a piece by Martin entitled "For My Parents." So while that plays in the background, and for as long as it takes, you're free to approach either of these stations and the bowl and choose whatever feels right. Petals to give thanks for love received, salt to express grief for missing love, or certainly for both. And if you'd rather not move around the sanctuary, or if you're on Zoom, this is a different way for you to participate. Let yourself adjust your position so that you can soften and connect with yourself. Hold both of your hands face up. With your eyes closed or open, imagine that your left hand is holding soft, fragrant flower petals. Run the silky petals through your fingers, offering gratitude for the ways that you have been loved by those who have mothered you throughout your life. Make your heart as soft as possible. as soft as the petals. In your right hand, imagine a pile of salt crystals. Feel them bite into your hand and crunch as you squeeze the salt. Allow yourself to acknowledge any pain of not being loved the way you needed. If you are grieving a loss, honor the longing of your heart that holds that grief. Breathe into the grief and let the salt absorb it. This music will help us, and we, a brave collective presence, are here to bear witness to the unspoken stories that are in this sacred space with us. This time belongs to all of us. So Jeremy, if you could start the music. And as you're ready, either the front station or the back, you can be brave. Take this time to breathe in, breathe out. Whatever you're holding, the sweetness of memories, the challenges that this life has given you, let your heart hold all of it. Know that you have the capacity to hold all of this, and know that you are most beloved. You are whole. You are needed. The waters that we have here hold some of our gratitude for love's beauty and blessings. These waters also hold our grief, our tears, the evidence of our brave hearts. After today's service, I'm going to take this water with its beauty and its bitterness, and I'll carry it out onto our little strip of soil there and return all of our blessings, all of our challenges into the earth where we are held by this ancient mother, this incredible presence that we get to call our home for this sojourn. May we give abundant thanks, not just today, but also in the days to come, for the many people whose love has been life-giving, those who have loved us into being. And whatever your journey has been, you would not be here if there has not been some form of love loving you into being. May we give thanks for the courage to grieve the absence of love. May we forgive ourselves for risking our hearts to love. May we keep our hearts open despite the wounds that they may have endured. And may we offer one another deep respect for being willing to say yes to love. In deep reverence for all that is our life, let us simply breathe together for a few moments before we share our loving gratitude for this community through our offering. So let's just breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, and breathe out.